but it's the little things that can affect sales price, obviously, when we go to sell.
As a seller, you don't want someone to have to work to get an offer forward. You want it to be easy and simple.
We're like heading into spring market right now in Sudbury. I would say, like, if you could talk to a contractor and they're only available in July or August, I would say not to do it. Welcome to the TNT Real Estate Podcast, where we spark conversations that set you up for real estate success. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Tanya, and each week we bring you expert tips on navigating Northern Ontario's real estate market. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, we've got the tools to help you thrive. Welcome back to the TNT Real Estate Podcast. I'm Tanya, and I'm joined by my co-host, Tyler. Tyler, this week was a very important week for you. It is like birthday week in your family, right?
Week, yes. Oh my God.
So happy birthday to you, first of all, and happy birthday to your daughter.
Thank you. Yeah, her birthday was yesterday. Mine was 3 days ago now, Tuesday. Yeah. But yeah, this week, the week before and week after this week as well are just nuts in our family.
I feel like it's harder even now because it's actually Easter this weekend too. So like everything is closed today and Sunday. Right. So it's a challenge.
Yeah, it's wild. It is. We have way too many birthdays in this short time span, but it's fun because it's like just birthdays and we have get-togethers and birthday party tonight, and
that's so good.
It's a good time.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to see the photos for ballerina birthday.
Right. Yeah. Ballerina birthday. Yeah. I never thought at 30, whatever years old I am, I would have a ballerina party.
It doesn't matter what age you are. It's all about the kids. Yeah. It's all about the kids.
Yeah, we love it for sure.
Oh, so good. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about, it's going to be really directed at homeowners. So we're going to be talking about deferred maintenance. Right. So maybe you're putting some things off and how that will affect maybe the eventual sale of your home. So, Tyler.
Are you directing this right at me? I feel attacked already.
Because you are going through, you're going through a bit of a home renovation as well, right?
Yeah.
And I think we all have a little bit of deferred maintenance.
Right. Yeah. But I feel like, now that the contractors are at the house and like they're almost finished, I'm like, ooh, should I get them to do this and this and this? And like the little fixes.
Don't add more to the list.
I know. It's so easy when they're there.
Yeah. But, yeah. So what is deferred maintenance? And what do you think of when you think of deferred maintenance?
It's the stuff. I mean, I would say probably the little things instead of the big things, because those are more of an issue. But it's the little things that can affect sales price, obviously, when we go to sell. And it's like the little things that like you don't necessarily need to do because it's not that big of a deal. Mm-hmm. It's usually cosmetic. But when it becomes an issue, or a buyer walks through the house and they're like, oh, there is a little, there's some painting to be done. There's, baseboard that is coming off the wall, whatever it is. I think it becomes more of an issue.
Yep. Definitely, peeling paint is probably one of those things that we see pretty often. Loose handrails, scuffs and bumps and things that can be easily fixed. Another thing as well, like I think gutter cleaning, right? Like cleaning your gutters, don't have trees growing out of your gutters. That's something that not everybody does on a sort of seasonal basis. And the roof is another thing too. It could be perfectly fine and not leaking yet, but if it's towards the end of its life, maybe it's time to consider actually replacing it. Right. That would be a larger deferred maintenance.
Yeah. And I mean, it's important to replace those things all the time, but especially when you're moving into like thinking about selling, if you're getting ready to, maybe this is the year, this is the time that you need to really be building that list and knocking things off. I think, I don't know why I think of this, but I think of like the leaning fence and like how many properties do you go to that has a fence that's like on a 45-degree angle? And I'm like, why don't you just like, just fix it? It's like not, I mean, I guess if you're not handy, it's a little bit bigger of an issue to fix, but I mean, like it's not. Those are the big things. Somebody's going to look out your beautiful back window and see this leaning tower of fence and say, "Oh man, that's like a $10,000 job," when it could be like a $2,000 job or less.
Yeah, it's always more elevated in terms of price in the buyer's mind, and when they start adding up a sort of a checklist of maintenance items, deferred maintenance items, it gets much bigger than it probably actually is. And as a home seller, maybe you would actually enjoy it a little bit more if you did those things ahead of time and, still lived in your home once they're done.
Right. And I feel like, it's one thing for it to be like one item. If you, as a homeowner, you look at the thing, it's like, okay, so it's that one item. It's that one item. It's like that one hole in the wall, whatever it is. But when you have a buyer walking through, it's like that one item and then the other item and then it's the other item. And then when you start piling those together, people are like, okay, well, is this home actually like falling apart? Like, is there, a bigger issue? Is it not just like one item? It's like multiple items. It
sort of compounds, right? It compounds in the buyer's mind, and anything that's going to confuse them and make them think, maybe think twice about whether they're going to make an offer on this home. That's something you want to get rid of as soon as possible, right? Take care of the item so that it's not a bit of a challenge on the buyer's mind when they're looking at your property.
Yeah. Buyers don't separate the small issues. They bundle them into risk.
Yeah.
So it's very important.
And then they're mentally going to start discounting the price they're going to offer on your home.
Right.
Just as they add those things up, and they're going to add them up with inflation at inflated values.
Right.
Yeah. And
like you can be helping, like if your house, and it's not that big of a deal to have like a couple little issues, especially when you're selling. But I always think of the weekend, I talk about it often last year in real estate, when there was like 8 houses, all New Sudbury bungalows that were listed like basically on the same day, holding offers until the next week. And it was like, for whatever reason, it was just like the week of the New Sudbury bungalow. And like there was a tier, like there was one, I think it might have been on Hawthorne. It was spectacular. It was perfect. It had a beautiful sunroom. It had the garage. It had everything. And you walk inside and the floors are glistening and the paint is perfect. And like, it's just beautiful. And then like, so that's the one, you kind of end your tour with, but until then you kind of build up. So if you're like that midline or lower, that you have a lot of deferred maintenance that people are they start discounting yours. But then when they start seeing more properties, they start increasing the price of those other properties. And it's just not like, if you're in the midline to lower end of, deferred maintenance, it's going to hurt you.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a very good deferred maintenance confession. Just like you're saying, that spot, we have one of our bathrooms in the shower, and it's not our fault. It was the people who drywalled the ceiling before we bought our house, but it's been 10 plus years, or no, gosh, it's been way more than 10 years, 12 years since I've had the house. And it's just this little drywall kind of spot, where that sort of, that screw, there's just that little sort of indent, I suppose.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so when you shower, it just naturally gathers a little bit of moisture. So I just wipe it clean every once in a while, but it's one of those spots that like just bothers me.
Yeah.
And I'm probably not going to do it until the day that we sell.
Yeah. It's okay. It's a safe space. Nobody else is listening.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to hear this.
I hope nobody else is listening. All right.
I have too many for this podcast. I could do a whole podcast on my deferred maintenance. If anybody wants to help.
Yeah. And it's that perception too, right? If somebody sees that spot in my shower, they're probably gonna be like, oh my goodness, they got a roof issue or something. But no, it's just a little defect in the drywall that needs to be repaired.
Right. Okay. So we're talking about deferred maintenance. We're talking about selling houses potentially with deferred maintenance, or what we should do. Now, what is the real, it's hard to put into like money sense or financial sense of like what it costs you, but what does deferred maintenance cost you as a home seller?
I think when you work with a lot of home buyers too, you can see how they view a house. Right. And in that sort of, experience that we have, we have a lot of times where we see maybe a $1,000 or $2,000 issue blows into a perceived $5,000 to $10,000 to even sometimes $20,000 issues in terms of the price. A buyer is going to compound all these little things, and they're going to think about the professional that's going to have to do the work that hasn't been done over the years, and it's really going to affect the offer price that they make on the property. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
it's so easy to walk through the house and, nitpick other people's houses and be like, okay, we got to paint this wall, we got to do this drywall, we got to do these baseboards and all these things, and this like $1,000 to $2,000 job becomes a $10,000 to $20,000 job. And I was doing an open house on a house in New Sudbury. This was close to the beginning of my career, so it must have been about 10 years ago now. And this was when lumber and labor was way cheaper, and so we walked in, and the house, the deck was like a little rocky, it wasn't fantastic. Probably needed to get done. And at that time, it was probably a $3,000 job. And this young lady walks in with her friend, and they go, and they're like, she's like, oh, like, what do you think for, like, how much would a deck cost? He goes, oh, this one for sure, $15,000. And I'm like, I'm standing there like, I mean, I obviously didn't want to be rude to the friend because he's just trying to help.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, you are, limiting her, exposure to what she can actually buy because you're way overvaluing this.
And while we're not like experts in repairs, and we can't often say exactly what it's going to cost someone to have a deck redone or something like that, but we have some pretty good ideas and indications from our past clients and ourselves too, right? Yeah. With you being in the middle of a renovation, we can help give people advice, but it is very difficult to sort of counter that when somebody says it's a $15,000 job to then be the realtor who says, well, maybe it's more like this. So rather than doing that, I usually try to reframe it. Sometimes they've already lost the desire to even buy the house, but I usually try to reframe it. Let's get an expert opinion in here. Let's get a quote and see what it actually would cost to do these things. But as a seller, you don't want someone to have to work to get an offer forward. You want it to be easy and simple. You want the decision made. And
you see often, and I applaud these agents that do that, but like typically like when the shingles need to be replaced, maybe it's just not in the seller's I would say it's in their best interest to get it done before listing, but sometimes it's not in the cards for them. Maybe the roofers are booked,
maybe weather too.
It could be weather, it could be all sorts of things. But when somebody walks up to your house and see curling shingles or whatever, it's obviously like a full replacement, which is going to be way overvalued, which is typically like a reasonable job. It's not crazy unless you have, different things. But, a lot of agents will have like a quote. They'll get a couple quotes from these different contractors and be like, okay, it's fantastic to see that this person is willing to do the work for $5,000, whatever it is. Yeah. But it's, I would, I tend to do that more than, forcing them to replace it if it's not in their cards, because it might, it's just not in the budget at this time. But replacing it is obviously always the number one. Number two is having that quote that they can walk in, they can go to the kitchen table and see, okay, this person says when I buy the house, it's going to cost me X amount.
I can hire ABC Roofing and it's going to be $7,500 plus tax. Yeah. Okay. So Tyler, what do you think about, let's say the house has a very outdated bathroom. It's fully functional, no problems, no leaks, but you've got a pink toilet, a pink tub, and maybe some beautiful tile that's like, has like some kind of motif on it.
Keep it all. No issues with that. Yeah. What's old is new again.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I mean, when people, obviously the first is a little bit of a chuckle and, I can't believe like these things still exist. I think of like the blue and the pinks and like the different colors that they used to have. But I think it's in a buyer's eye, typically, especially if they're younger, I wouldn't even say younger. I said most buyers would just say, okay, we're going to have to redo the whole bathroom. It's going to cost us $15,000. Yeah. And a decent contractor could probably do it for half of that, maybe. So it's just like these little deferred maintenances that add up when they shouldn't.
I'd say if you always wanted to get that bathroom refreshed anyway, do it now, enjoy it for a couple of years. And then when you go to sell, it's going to be pretty fresh. Maybe you just need a little bit of paint and it'll be ready to go. Okay. So we talked about, an outdated bathroom and fixing it up so that you can enjoy it and then sell. Right. What are some other things that are really, really worth fixing? Very important.
Okay. So I would kind of split it into two different categories. One would be like easy weekend fix or multiple fixes in one weekend. The other would be a contractor has to do it. So anything that you can do within like a reasonable amount of time, like if you're, especially we're like heading into spring market right now in Sudbury. And so I would say like, if you could talk to a contractor and they're only available in July or August, I would say not to do it. I wouldn't want to miss spring market to be able to do the work. I would do the quote thing that we just talked about, is like have them in, get the quote, put it on the kitchen table. This is what it's going to cost. They're available to do it in July and August. But anything paint, drywall, fixing, little electrical. Like one of the big things, and this is I noticed it in my house. Like we redid the basement, and I still had like the off-white plugs. And so we just replaced them into like nice bright white, like little things like that, when somebody walks through the house, they're like, oh, the electrical is old. It's not the electrical, it's just the face plates. So anything small that you can do, or you have a friend that can help you with, I would say do it for sure. 100%. Anything that's a bigger job, like, replacing a fence, building a deck, doing the furnace, yada, yada, all these big things, I would say kind of break that down and be like, okay, what are we willing to do now? Maybe we're willing to spend $10,000 before we sell it. Do those things. We can help you as realtors pick out those things. And then everything else, if they're important enough, get the quote, leave it on the kitchen table.
Yeah. I think it's important to think, sort of 5 years ahead too, right? Like maybe now you're in your home, you've enjoyed it for a couple of years already, and you're not going to sell for another 5 or more years. Make a list of all the things you want to do in the next 5 years so that you can actually enjoy them while you still live in the house. And then by the time you're ready to sell, you just do a quick freshen up and you're ready to go. Right.
Okay, let's move into some rapid fires. So what sellers really think? It's just cosmetic, Tanya.
Oh, buyers don't think it's just cosmetic. Buyers think dollars. Okay, so what if a seller says, we don't want to fix that, we're just going to lower the price?
I would say you would have to lower the price farther than if you just fixed it for what it was worth.
Good point.
Yeah. Okay, the shingles are bad, but the roof isn't leaking yet.
In the buyer's mind, it's been leaking for 5 years and it's a $25,000 job. Right. It's already leaking in their head. So yes, change the roof.
Right.
A seller says, it didn't bother us when we lived here.
And you are no longer the buyer. There's other people that are the buyers. Maybe you can overlook it, but most people can't.
Yeah.
I would say. We don't want to spend any more money before we sell this place.
Do you want to make more money?
Yes.
There you go. Spend it. You got to spend money to make money, baby. Can't they just fix it after they buy it?
They can, but not at the price that you're going to want them to pay for the house.
What if a seller says, well, we'll just wait and we'll see what the feedback has to say about this issue?
The market has already told you, you listed it like this. Just do it. We'll deal with it if it comes up in the inspection. Maybe they won't have an inspection, Tanya. Maybe it'll just slide right under the radar.
Okay, first of all, we don't want to slide anything under the radar. Right. We got to disclose. But also, if they find issues, such as the roof, which sometimes is obvious, during an inspection, you're losing all your negotiating power. Like, be upfront about it. Fix it ahead of time so that your negotiating stance is strong.
Right.
Okay. A seller says, do buyers really even notice that?
Within like 20 seconds of being there, yes, they will notice that.
They notice everything.
Yep. And the buyer's dad that shows up.
Oh, the dad.
The quintessential dad that shows up.
Yeah.
He will notice it too.
Yeah.
And blow it out of proportion.
Okay, so I think we've really defined it here. The pattern is that sellers will minimize an issue, a deferred maintenance issue, and buyers will, in fact, magnify that issue.
Yeah. And it shows up usually at the worst time. And I mean, like, I think of like the season that we're in right now. We have way too much snow for how late it is in the season, and it's all going to melt really, really quickly, and it's all going to end up in all of our basements, unfortunately. And it's just like, we're going to sell it we're going to sell the house in the spring. These issues are going to pop up. Maybe if you just did your deferred maintenance or did your maintenance that you're supposed to do, gutters, eaves troughs, clean the snow around your house if you can.
Around your house.
Like, yeah, it's these little things that will add up to, a great sale or a bad sale. Yeah.
If you take one thing from this podcast, it's that deferred maintenance is one of the most expensive things that you can ignore. And so if you've enjoyed this podcast and learned something, please share it with somebody that you know who might be interested. Thanks for listening, and please subscribe to our channel.
We'll see you next time.